Well, thank you very, very much. Muchas gracias, colleagues. It's wonderful to be with all of you. Secretary Barcina, Alicia, Secretary Rodriguez, Attorney General Gertz. We are so pleased to be back in Mexico, and this is now our third security dialogue since 2021. And in everything that we're doing together, we're proceeding based on a sense of shared responsibility, cooperation, collaboration, mutual respect. And I think that has permeated everything that we've been doing together. As the Foreign Minister said last Friday in Washington, our governments discussed how we can unleash the region's incredible economic potential and expand opportunity for more of our people. We're here today because so much of what we want to deliver for our people depends on providing a foundation of safety and security. In 2021, when we launched the U.S.-Mexico Bicentennial Framework for Security, Public Health, and Safe Communities, we underscored that imperative and that commitment. This framework reflects our nation's shared interest and shared responsibility in addressing crime, violence, trafficking. It also underscores a shared understanding that we have that while policing and border enforcement are absolutely critical tools, they alone cannot address the complex drivers of our security challenges. We must also strengthen the rule of law, accountability, respect for human rights, including among security forces. And, critically, we have to expand economic opportunity, especially in underserved communities, so that people have a real choice and are not drawn into extreme actions. The comprehensive approach that we're bringing to this set of challenges is reflected in the delegation that you have before you from the United States, including Attorney General Garland, Secretary of Homeland Security Mayorkas, Homeland Security Advisor Liz Sherwood-Randall, and many other senior officials who are with us. Together, we have an opportunity to review where we've made progress and identify areas for further collaboration and action. I think one of the defining challenges that we're dealing with is it is unquestionable that we have made real progress, and yet the challenges we face are in many ways historic in nature, and we have to make sure that our progress not only keeps up with the challenges, but actually gets ahead of them. So we're going to be focused on that today. We'll discuss how we can redouble our efforts to stem the illicit flow of weapons from the United States into Mexico and synthetic drugs from Mexico into the United States. We'll look at how we can strengthen prevention and treatment efforts to help those who are struggling with addiction in both of our countries and reduce demand for fentanyl, for methamphetamines, and other illegal substances. We have to confront the synthetic drug epidemic as a public health crisis. That's what it is, a central focus of the 100-plus country coalition, global coalition, that we put together earlier this year. We'll consider what more we can do to bring justice and bring to justice the criminal networks who profit from violence and suffering on both sides of our border. And we'll discuss how we can continue to enhance border and port security while facilitating legitimate travel and trade between us. We are now our largest trading partners, and this is an extraordinary benefit to both of our countries. But we want to make sure that our border is also safe and secure. The fact is that neither of us can deliver for our citizens on our own. We depend on common approaches, we depend on common action, we depend on a sense of shared responsibility. And that's ultimately what this dialogue is all about. And that's why I'm so grateful to our friends, our colleagues, our hosts, for welcoming us and for both the substance and the spirit with which we're proceeding. Thank you very much. Secretary Rodriguez.
El Gabinete de Seguridad mexicano efectivamente les da la bienvenida a la continuación del diálogo en una relación de total respeto a la soberanía de nuestras naciones y a una productiva coordinación con resultados. Estados Unidos tiene un complicado problema de salud pública por consumo de fentanilo y en algunas zonas México enfrenta la violencia por la disputa entre grupos criminales y producto de la venta de drogas. Se abastecen con dinero y armas del otro lado de la frontera. Es un círculo vicioso del que solo podremos salir si ambas naciones trabajamos de la mano. México está cooperando y lo seguirá haciendo mediante la detención y castigo de quienes trafican con drogas y precursores químicos provenientes de Asia. Se trata de un asunto humanitario y de fraternidad universal. Desde el inicio del gobierno del presidente Andrés Manuel López Obrador, combatimos a todos los cárteles porque no tenemos pactos. Hemos detenido a más de 78,000 delincuentes, de los cuales 4,000 eran objetivos prioritarios. Aseguramos más de 2,000 laboratorios, 900 este año, incautamos más de 184 toneladas de cocaína, 7,6 toneladas de fentanilo y más de 44,700 armas de fuego de alto poder. Con la atención a las causas que generan la violencia, México ha disminuido la incidencia de los homicidios en 17%, el secuestro bajó 80%, los robos se redujeron 24% y el robo de hidrocarburos 94%. Pero es imperativo detener el tráfico de armas que llegan a manos de integrantes de cárteles. En esa labor necesitamos el apoyo decidido de nuestro vecino y aliado. Y hoy ambas naciones tenemos la oportunidad de sentar un precedente histórico en la lucha contra el tráfico de drogas y tráfico de armas. Se requiere de un trabajo colectivo, de una solución binacional. Nuestra relación tiene lazos de hermandad muy fuertes, porque somos vecinos, somos socios y somos aliados.
We're partners and allies at the same time.
Thank you, Secretary Rodriguez. Thank you, Secretary Barcena, Attorney General Gertz, Secretary Lujan. Thank you for welcoming us to Mexico City. Today, we will be discussing the ways in which we can enhance our work to fight the threats to the safety of our citizens on both sides of the border. But I want to start by reiterating my thanks for the extradition of Ovidio Guzman Lopez from Mexico to the United States just 3 weeks ago. His extradition is a powerful symbol of what we can accomplish when we work together. We recognize that Mexican law enforcement and military service members lost their lives in securing his arrest. We are grateful for their courage and for their sacrifice. This meeting gives us an opportunity to continue to honor the memories of all those we have lost in the fight against the cartels and the fentanyl epidemic by strengthening our work together to ensure justice. I look forward to discussing how we can advance those efforts today, and I'm now pleased to turn over the program to Attorney General Gertz.
Ya estoy, sí. Señor Secretario de Estado, señor Procurador General, señor Secretario del Interior, señor Embajador, señoras y señores miembros de esta delegación. La Fiscalía General de la República es un órgano autónomo del Estado mexicano que ha trabajado con ustedes de una manera cotidiana en un ámbito que no se había dado desde hace muchísimos años. Nosotros hemos logrado trabajar cumpliendo con nuestro deber, los mexicanos defendiendo los intereses de nuestra nación y ustedes colaborando con nosotros para ayudarnos en esa tarea y para resolver los problemas en los que ambos países somos víctimas de una delincuencia que no reconoce fronteras. Nosotros tenemos y debemos de cumplir con la ley y ellos se dedican a violar la ley, y a incumplirla. No es un trabajo fácil. Y en ese trabajo lo que se ha hecho y que lo vamos a discutir durante esta mañana ha sido verdaderamente algo extraordinario. Sabemos que el problema es un problema tan antiguo como la relación bilateral que tenemos entre México y los Estados Unidos. Sabemos también que estamos en medio de una situación muy compleja en donde los intereses de la producción y los intereses del consumo tenemos que equilibrarlos para que estén dentro del margen, la marginalidad de la ley. Es fundamental que en estos trabajos nosotros demos un ejemplo de respeto a nuestra mutua soberanía y de eficacia a nuestros mutuos intereses. Es una tarea en la que nunca vamos a dejar de trabajar. Tenemos un embajador cotidiano, comprometido, diario en nuestro trabajo y en nuestra relación bilateral. Tenemos una relación verdaderamente excepcional con la justicia de los Estados Unidos a través del señor fiscal general Garland. Hemos trabajado con el secretario del Interior para resolver grandes problemas de tráfico de migrantes. Tenemos el apoyo de la Secretaría de Estado de los Estados Unidos, que tiene la obligación legal de representar en ese ámbito los intereses de esa nación. Vamos a mantener este diálogo en el que ustedes saben que nosotros hemos también mantenido la dignidad, la respetabilidad y la soberanía de nuestro país. Y en ese mismo nivel nosotros respetamos lo de ustedes. Es un buen ejemplo de lo que se puede hacer y de lo que vamos a seguir haciendo. La reunión de hoy espero que dé los resultados que esperamos. El gabinete mexicano tiene propuestas muy concretas que creo que van a ser realmente un cambio fundamental, y no olvidemos, todo lo que estamos haciendo es un esfuerzo verdaderamente inusitado, pero el tamaño del problema tiene que tener un resultado también de esa misma magnitud. Yo celebro la presencia de todos ustedes aquí, celebro que podamos trabajar con esa fraternidad y con esa dignidad que nuestros pueblos merecen. Muchas gracias a todos.
It is an honor to be here in Mexico again with my colleagues in the Biden-Harris administration and with our close partners and friends in the government of Mexico. There is no more fundamental responsibility of any government than to safeguard its homeland and its people. We all share that principle, and we all work together to fulfill that responsibility. In an historically challenging moment for our region, the United States recognizes that open, effective partnerships based on mutual respect are critical to our individual and shared security. That is true of the 21 countries across the hemisphere who are party to the Los Angeles Declaration, and that is especially true of the bilateral relationship between the United States and Mexico. All of us here together are making our countries and our region safer and more secure. Together, we are taking concrete steps to better address the threats we face along our shared border, enhancing the security of our ports of entry, and expediting the movement of legal trade and travel. Together, we are dismantling the criminal networks that prey on vulnerable migrants. We are dismantling the criminal organizations that smuggle fentanyl from south to north and traffic weapons from north to south. And together, we are disrupting the supply chains these cartels rely upon. We must continue to build on the progress we have made. Today's high-level security dialogue is the first to include migration as part of its agenda, an essential component of our national and regional security. The United States is committed to continuing to work closely with the government of Mexico as we implement the model that has proven effective, a model that pairs the historic expansion of safe, orderly, and lawful pathways for migrants to come directly to the United States or elsewhere to obtain humanitarian relief outside the smuggler's grip, with strict consequences for those who do not use those lawful means to enter our country. Further progress will require continued alignment between our two countries on shared priorities and on our commitment to implement them. It is our hope, and we are confident, that the discussions we engage in today as sovereign nations and as historic partners will lay the foundation for such continued progress on behalf of our people. Thank you.
Me parece que tenemos que adelantar para que ella llegue. Adelante, secretaria.
Pues reiterar la bienvenida a nuestro país, a Palacio Nacional, ya dada por el presidente Andrés Manuel López Obrador hace unos minutos. Saludamos con muchísimo gusto al secretario de Estado, Antony Blinken, al fiscal general, al secretario de Seguridad,
Attorney
por
General,
supuesto también a
Secretary of
Elizabeth,
Security,
a todo el
Elizabeth.
equipo. Nos da muchísimo gusto tenerlos aquí,
Greetings.
continuar con los
It's great to have
trabajos.
you here
Sabemos muy
and
bien
to keep up with the work.
que México y Estados
We know
Unidos
well
son países
that
hermanos
Mexico and
con
the
una
United
larga
States
historia
are
diplomática,
brothers with a
política,
long-standing
cultural,
political,
que
diplomatic,
compartimos una
cultural
frontera de más de
history, and we
3,000
share a
kilómetros
border
por
of
donde todos
over
los días
3,000
cruzan
kilometers,
miles de personas,
through
millones
which
de dólares.
thousands
Tenemos
of
una
people,
intensa
millions of
relación por
dollars
sí misma, pero por
cross
supuesto
on a
aún
daily
más con el
basis. We
Tratado
have an
Comercial de
intense
Estados Unidos y Canadá, y
relationship
como aquí se decía, por las
just
estrategias
without
que hemos
that, but
venido impulsando en
considering
los últimos
the
2 años para poder
USMCA
enfrentar pues,
and
dos
the
retos que
strategies performed
compartimos
throughout
en
these
materia de
2
migración, en
years,
materia
we
de
are
seguridad,
confronted with
en
new
específico en el
migration
tema
and
de fentanilo, no nada
security-related
más para el tema
challenges,
del
specifically
trasiego
speaking
de
of
drogas,
fentanyl,
sino
not only
también del
regarding drug
consumo.
trafficking
Y
at
tenemos también
large, but
claridad en
consumption
que
as
el
well.
presidente
And there's
López
clarity
Obrador
too,
y el presidente
because
Biden
both presidents,
tienen
President
claro
López
que
Obrador and
una de las
President Biden,
estrategias más
clearly
eficaces
understand that
en
one of
ambos
the
retos
most
tiene que ver con
efficacious
atender
strategies
las causas
involves
que generan la
addressing the
migración
causes
y también
that
las causas que
lead
generan
to
la
migration
violencia y que
and the
generan
causes that
el
lead to
consumo
violence,
y la producción de
to
drogas. Por eso
consumption
nos da
and drug
muchísimo gusto que
production.
podamos
This is why
continuar
it is
en
such a
este marco
pleasure
de
for us to
colaboración, en
continue
este
with
marco de
this
respeto
collaboration,
y
with
pues
the respect
conocemos muy bien y sabemos que
between both
nuestros países
nations.
son más
We are
fuertes
pretty
cuando se
much
mantienen
aware,
unidos.
and we know
Por
that
nuestra
both
parte,
countries
pues
are
tienen
stronger
toda la colaboración
when
de
they're
todas las
united. So
dependencias
on
que
our
estamos
side, you
fuertemente
can count on
trabajando
the
todos los
different
días en este tema. Muchísimas
instances
gracias.
and secretariats
Y
collaboration,
finalmente,
because we continue to work
la
on a
asesora
daily basis.
presidencial para seguridad
Finally,
nacional,
Presidential
doctora
Advisor
Elizabeth
on
Sherwood
National
Randall.
Security, Dr. Elizabeth Sherwood Randall.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Secretary Bárcena, and thank you, Rosa Isela Rodriguez, my colleagues, our cabinet members, members of the military in Mexico. I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you for hosting us, as you always do so graciously. We have had many, many meetings together over the course of the last 9 months in this year of 2023 on many shared topics which are on the agenda today. But this is the first time I have participated in the high-level security dialogue, and I'm here in part to demonstrate that in addition to the counterparts who have participated in this for each of the years of our administration, that the White House also recognizes the critical importance of the bicentennial framework and the goals that it sets for our bilateral cooperation. Protecting our people, preventing transnational crime, and pursuing criminal networks. Over the last 3 years, our two governments have made tremendous progress under the framework and through the high-level security dialogue to improve the health, safety, and security of our peoples. But there's much more that we can and must do, and today we acknowledge this by formally adding the management of the historic migration flows in our hemisphere to our shared agenda. We have President Biden's full support as we tackle these challenges together and over the course of the coming year, and I look forward very much to working with each of you